My friends, welcome to the Chinese Future with Rufo. In today's monumental episode, we begin a deep and comprehensive exploration of the most significant technological race of our century. We are dissecting how China is not just competing, but is decisively winning the global artificial intelligence revolution. This is not a story of chance, but one of monumental strategy, unwavering political will, and a societal architecture built for technological dominance. Our analysis will be vast, spanning multiple detailed videos. This first part, crucial and foundational, will lay bare the strategic and political bedrock upon which China's AI supremacy is being constructed. We will delve into the grand state planning and financial engines, the uniquely enabling regulatory environment, and the massive systemic cultivation of human talent. Understand this foundation, and you will understand why China's lead is structural, sustained, and accelerating. Our narrative begins with the fundamental driver, the absolute core of China's AI ascent, comprehensive state planning and massive financing. Unlike the often fragmented venture capital-led approach predominant in the West, China's journey in artificial intelligence is a meticulously charted national endeavor, a central pillar of its vision for economic and geopolitical leadership. The seminal blueprint for this is the industrial policy known as Made in China 2025. Unveiled, this strategy explicitly targeted artificial intelligence as one of 10 critical frontier domains, signaling a clear, top-down directive for the nation to achieve global parity and then leadership. This was not a vague aspiration. It was a detailed industrial map, coordinating efforts across ministries, provincial governments, state-owned enterprises, and private sector champions. The policy created a powerful alignment of incentives, ensuring that the vast machinery of the Chinese state and its economic system began moving in unison towards a common AI horizon. Following this, the Chinese state apparatus activated its most potent tool, the ability to mobilize capital on a scale unimaginable in liberal democracies. The financial commitment to artificial intelligence has been staggering, running into the hundreds of billions of dollars. This funding flows through multiple channels. Direct government grants fund fundamental research in state laboratories and key universities. Massive investment funds, often joint ventures between central government entities, local governments, and state-owned banks, provide patient capital to startups and scale-ups. Furthermore, local governments compete to establish specialized AI industrial parks and innovation clusters, offering tax breaks, subsidized facilities, and infrastructure to attract companies. These clusters, such as those in Beijing's Zhongguancun district, in Shanghai, and in Shenzhen, create powerful ecosystems of cross-pollination, where academic researchers, entrepreneurs, and manufacturers collaborate in close proximity. The state's role here is that of a supreme architect and venture capitalist of last resort, de-risking the entire sector and ensuring that promising ideas, especially those with strategic national value, never die due to a lack of funding. This financial firewall guarantees long-term research and development cycles that purely commercial entities, answerable to quarterly earnings reports, might abandon. The second pillar of China's strategic foundation, and perhaps its most debated and impactful, is its uniquely favorable regulatory framework and its unparalleled capacity for data collection. In the realm of artificial intelligence, data is the new oil, the essential fuel for training and refining algorithms. China has cultivated a data environment of immense breadth and depth. Through a series of laws and regulations, the state has facilitated a landscape where data generated by its billion-plus citizens can be aggregated and utilized for technological development, often under the umbrella of public-private collaboration. The most visible manifestation of this is the nationwide push for smart cities. Hundreds of Chinese municipalities have partnered with technology giants like Alibaba, Tencent, and Baidu to integrate AI into urban management. These projects deploy vast networks of Internet of Things sensors and high-definition cameras, collecting real-time data on everything from traffic flow and energy consumption to public safety and sanitation. This infrastructure generates oceanic datasets on human behavior and urban systems, datasets that are invaluable for training AI models in computer vision, predictive analytics, and logistic optimization. While Western nations engage in complex and often paralyzing debates about data privacy, consent, and individual rights, China has adopted a more utilitarian approach, prioritizing collective security, social management, and technological progress. This does not mean an absence of regulation. Rather, it is regulation that channels data towards national strategic goals with fewer of the ethical and legal hurdles prevalent in Europe or the United States. This allows Chinese AI firms with state encouragement or partnership to experiment and iterate at a velocity that is difficult to match. They can deploy prototype systems in real world, large scale environments, learn from the outcomes, and refine their models in a continuous feedback loop, all within a permissive legal environment. This advantage in rapid iteration and scale of deployment is a critical accelerant. The third and ultimately decisive pillar of China's AI foundation is its long term systemic investment in education and the cultivation of specialized talent. The Chinese leadership understands that algorithms and capital are meaningless without the human minds to drive them. Consequently, a vast multi generational project is underway to create the world's largest and most skilled AI workforce. This begins at the university level. Chinese institutions have launched hundreds of new undergraduate and postgraduate programs, specifically in artificial intelligence, machine learning, and related fields like robotics and big data science. Enrollment in STEM disciplines, science, technology, engineering, and mathematics has been pushed to unprecedented levels, supported by national campaigns glorifying scientific achievement and technological patriotism. Furthermore, China has successfully implemented a powerful brain gain. For decades, the best and brightest Chinese students went to universities in the United States and Europe, often staying to build careers abroad. That trend has dramatically reversed. A combination of powerful pull factors, including generous research funding, high ranking positions in Chinese labs and firms, and a palpable sense of participating in a national renaissance, has attracted a flood of top tier researchers and engineers back to China. These returnees bring with them not only cutting edge knowledge from Silicon Valley and academic hubs like MIT or Stanford, but also valuable networks and an understanding of global best practices. They are seamlessly integrated into China's booming AI ecosystem, founding companies, leading research teams, and mentoring the next generation. The talent pipeline is being extended even further down into basic education. Concepts of computational thinking, programming logic, and even introductory artificial intelligence principles are being woven into school curricula. National competitions in coding and robotics for school children are common and highly publicized, fostering a culture of familiarity and ambition towards technology from a very young age. This creates a societal foundation where AI is not a mysterious or threatening force, but an accepted and integral part of the nation's future. The result of this three-pronged education strategy is a formidable and growing talent pool that feeds directly into the state's AI ambitions, ensuring a steady supply of engineers, data scientists, and researchers for decades to come. In summary, the first chapter of China's AI dominance story is written not in lines of code, but in policy documents, budget allocations, legal frameworks, and classroom syllabuses. It is a story of strategic coherence, where the state acts as the ultimate planner, financier, and rule setter. It leverages its scale and governance model to create a data-rich environment conducive to rapid experimentation, and it commits to the long game by cultivating the human capital necessary to sustain leadership. This triad of factors forms an unshakable foundation, a launchpad from which China's technological capabilities are propelled. It is a model that operates on a different logic and timeline than its Western counterparts, prioritizing scale, speed, and national strategic objectives above all else. This foundational advantage is what makes China's position in the AI race so formidable. It is systemic, it is well-funded, and it is patient. Understanding this is the first and most critical step in understanding the new technological world order that is being built before our eyes. This was the first part of our exhaustive series. In our next installment, we will move from this foundation to examine the tangible fruits it has borne, the competitive advantages, and the concrete results that are already reshaping industries and projecting Chinese power globally. Stay with us on the Chinese Future with Rufo. Continuing from our foundational analysis, we now turn to the visible outcomes, the concrete advantages and tangible results that have sprung from China's strategic bedrock in artificial intelligence. This is the story of how planning and investment translate into real world dominance, where theoretical prowess meets practical application and begins to reshape global dynamics. We will explore China's undeniable superiority in deploying AI at a societal scale, its surge in pure scientific innovation and proprietary technology, the vibrant and uniquely integrated ecosystem of companies driving this revolution, and finally, the crucial projection of this technological power onto the global stage for geopolitical influence. The most immediate and observable manifestation of China's AI lead is its profound superiority in adoption and practical application. While other nations debate and experiment, China deploys, integrating artificial intelligence into the fabric of daily life and national governance with a speed and breadth that is unmatched. The most cited and perhaps most impactful domain is that of computer vision and surveillance. China has constructed the world's most advanced and extensive network of facial recognition and public monitoring systems. Millions of high definition cameras, equipped with real time AI analytics, are deployed across cities linked to vast databases. This technology goes far beyond simple security. It is used for law enforcement, social management, traffic control, and even consumer convenience like facial payment systems in stores and restaurants. This massive real world deployment creates an unrivaled feedback loop. The systems generate petabytes of new data every day, which are used to train and refine the algorithms, making them more accurate and versatile, a cycle of improvement that competitors cannot replicate without similar scale. This application prowess extends powerfully into the economic sphere, particularly in commerce and finance. Chinese e-commerce and fintech giants like Alibaba and Tencent have built their entire empires on a foundation of sophisticated AI. Their platforms utilize machine learning for hyper-personalized recommendations, dynamic pricing, inventory management, and fraud detection at a scale that dwarfs most Western counterparts. The integration of AI-driven logistics networks with automated warehouses and smart delivery routing has redefined efficiency, enabling services like same-day or next-hour delivery for hundreds of millions of consumers. In financial services, AI algorithms assess creditworthiness using alternative data, powering the massive microloan ecosystems of platforms like Ant Group and facilitating seamless mobile payments that have made cash nearly obsolete in major cities. This deep integration means AI in China is not a futuristic concept. It is a present-day utility, a tool that hundreds of millions use effortlessly, driving unprecedented volumes of commercial data and continuous algorithmic optimization. Furthermore, the application frontier is expanding rapidly into critical fields like healthcare and pharmaceuticals. Chinese companies and research institutes are making significant strides in using AI for medical image analysis, aiding in the early and accurate diagnosis of diseases like cancers and tuberculosis from CT scans and X rays with a precision rivaling human experts. In pharmaceuticals, AI is accelerating drug discovery used to model molecular interactions and identify promising compound candidates for diseases, a process that traditionally takes years and billions of dollars. These are not just laboratory projects, they are being piloted and deployed in hospitals and research centers, aiming to address practical challenges like doctor shortages in rural areas and the high cost of drug development. The imperative to solve real, large-scale problems, from urban congestion to healthcare accessibility, provides a powerful and immediate driver for applied AI innovation, ensuring research is consistently directed towards utilitarian outcomes with massive market and social impact. Beyond sheer application, China's competitive edge is increasingly rooted in fundamental technological innovation and a commanding presence in scientific research. A key metric of this shift is the volume of scholarly output. For years, the United States led in the quantity and perceived quality of AI research publications. That landscape has decisively changed. China has surpassed the United States in the total number of publications and patents related to artificial intelligence, a trend that solidified and accelerated. Chinese researchers are now leading contributors in top-tier conferences and journals across subfields like computer vision, natural language processing, and machine learning. This is not merely a numbers game. It reflects the immense resources poured into academia and corporate R&D labs and the growing confidence and capability of the Chinese research community. The talent trained domestically and returning from abroad is now producing frontier knowledge, not just consuming it. This innovation is crystallizing into proprietary technologies and hardware. In the critical arena of semiconductors, the brain of AI, China is working aggressively to reduce its dependence and forge its own path. While it still lags in manufacturing the most advanced general purpose processors, it has made remarkable progress in designing specialized AI chips known as accelerators. Companies like Cambricon, Horizon Robotics, and Alibaba's in-house semiconductor division are creating chips specifically optimized for AI workloads, such as neural network inference and training. These chips offer performance and efficiency advantages for specific tasks, powering everything from data center servers to autonomous vehicle systems and security cameras. By designing hardware and software in tandem, Chinese firms can create tightly integrated, high performance AI solutions tailored to their unique market needs and data environments. This push for technological self sufficiency extends to the fundamental frameworks and algorithms, with Chinese tech giants developing their own deep learning platforms to compete with the likes of TensorFlow and PyTorch, seeking to control the entire software stack. The engine that translates this innovation and application into economic power is China's dynamic and uniquely structured entrepreneurial ecosystem. The country has cultivated a thriving landscape of AI startups, with dozens achieving unicorn status, valued at over $1 billion each. The combined value of these companies represents a colossal sum, attracting dense venture capital investment specifically funneled into artificial intelligence. Unlike the more siloed competition sometimes seen in Silicon Valley, China's ecosystem is characterized by deep, strategic cooperation and sometimes complex competition between the established tech giants, Baidu, Alibaba, and Tencent, often called the BAT companies. These giants act not just as competitors, but as platforms, investors, and partners for smaller startups. They provide cloud computing resources, vast data sets, distribution channels, and capital through their extensive investment arms. A startup might use Alibaba's cloud AI services to train its model, receive funding from Tencent's venture fund, and eventually have its technology integrated into Baidu's search ecosystem. This creates a synergistic environment where innovation can be rapidly scaled and where the giants themselves are constantly invigorated by external innovation, preventing stagnation. The state's guiding hand is also present here, with strategic guidance and funding, ensuring that the ecosystem's growth aligns with national priorities in areas like autonomous driving, smart manufacturing, and AI chips. All these domestic advantages converge into a final crucial dimension: the geopolitical projection of AI power and the shaping of global influence. China is no longer just a domestic AI power. It is an assertive global exporter of its technological vision and capabilities. The most direct form of this is the export of its sophisticated surveillance and smart city technology. Chinese firms like Huawei, Hikvision, and Dahua have sold integrated safe city solutions to dozens of countries across Africa, Southeast Asia, Latin America, and even parts of Europe. These systems offer governments tools for public security and urban management, but also embed Chinese technological standards and create dependencies on Chinese maintenance and updates. This export extends China's strategic reach and generates valuable data and influence in partner nations. This technological export is seamlessly woven into the broader geopolitical strategy of the Belt and Road Initiative, now expanded into a digital Silk Road. Through this framework, China finances and builds digital infrastructure, including fiber optic networks, data centers, and smart city platforms in developing countries. By setting the underlying architecture of these nations' digital economies, China positions its companies, its technical standards, and its vision of internet governance as the default. This has profound long-term implications. Finally, China is actively working to move from being a technology taker to a standards setter. Through bodies like the International Telecommunication Union and by promoting its own technical specifications for everything from facial recognition, data formats to IoT communication protocols, China seeks to shape the global rules of the digital future. If its standards are widely adopted, it locks in a permanent advantage for its companies and reinforces its model of technological development. In essence, China is using its AI capabilities as a key instrument of soft power and hard influence, offering other nations a package of technology, financing, and model that presents an alternative to the Western led digital order. Therefore, the story of China's competitive advantages in AI is a multi layered narrative of depth and breadth. It is the depth of integration where AI solves concrete problems for a billion people, generating an irreversible momentum of adoption and improvement. It is the breadth of innovation from academic papers to custom silicon, demonstrating a growing capacity for foundational contributions. It is the synergy of an ecosystem where state direction, corporate giants, and agile startups interact in a powerful, if sometimes directed, dance of creation. And ultimately, it is the conscious outward projection of this technological stack as a tool of global statecraft, aiming to define the infrastructure and norms of the coming century. This tangible dominance did not emerge from a vacuum. It is the direct harvest sown from the strategic seeds we detailed in our first part. The foundation enabled the fortress, yet even this formidable position faces challenges and generates reactions. In our next and final part, we will examine the constraints China faces, the responses from its competitors, particularly the United States, and the potential future scenarios for this ongoing, world altering race. The Chinese Future with Rufo continues.